Have you ever looked around at your life, friends, plans, things moving forward, and still felt strangely alone? Not because nobody is there, but because nobody really sees what's going on in your head. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You show up, you work, you meet people, and yet, at the end of the day, something feels missing. And the confusing part is, you don't even know why. If your 20s have felt like that lately, you're not broken, and you're not the only one. Your 20s feel lonely for a reason, and once you understand why, it starts to feel a lot less heavy. I remember a moment not that long ago. I was sitting with friends, everyone laughing, talking about work, relationships, future plans, and I was there too, smiling, talking. But inside, I felt disconnected. Like everyone else was moving forward with certainty, and I was quietly trying to figure things out without saying it out loud. I went home that night wondering, how can I feel lonely when I'm surrounded by people? And that question stuck with me, because this kind of loneliness isn't always about being alone. It's about feeling in between versions of your life, and this is the part nobody really talks about. In your 20s, almost everything changes at the same time. Friend groups shift, people move away, relationships change, careers start, expectations grow. For the first time, there's no clear structure telling you where you belong. In school, connection happened automatically. You saw the same people every day. Life felt shared. Now everyone is building different lives at different speeds. Psychologically, this creates something called a transition phase. Your brain wants stability and belonging, but your environment keeps changing. So even if your life looks full from the outside, internally it can feel uncertain and disconnected. And when you don't understand that, it's easy to think, maybe it's just me. But it's not. A lot of people in their 20s feel this way. They just don't say it because everyone else looks fine online. And this is where loneliness quietly grows, not from lack of people, but from lack of shared direction. So what actually helps? Not in a fix everything overnight way, but in a way that makes this phase easier to move through. Here are 3 things that genuinely make a difference. 1. Stop interpreting loneliness as failure. This is the biggest one. Feeling lonely in your 20s often means your life is changing, not that it's falling apart. You're outgrowing old routines, old expectations, sometimes even old versions of yourself. And growth often feels like distance before it feels like clarity. Instead of thinking, I shouldn't feel like this, try thinking, I'm in transition. That small shift removes a lot of pressure. You stop fighting the feeling and start understanding it. 2. Focus on depth instead of quantity. A mistake many people make in their 20s is thinking connection means being around more people. But loneliness usually isn't about numbers. It's about feeling understood. One honest conversation can feel more connecting than 10 casual ones. So instead of trying to constantly expand your circle, focus on strengthening a few real connections. Send the message you've been postponing. Ask how someone is really doing. Be slightly more honest than usual. Most people are waiting for someone else to go first. 3. Learn to be alone without feeling left behind. This part takes time, because being alone and feeling lonely are not the same thing. Your 20s are often the first time you spend real time with yourself, without structure, without constant distraction. At first, that silence feels uncomfortable. Your mind fills the space with comparison and doubt. But slowly, that silence becomes space to understand what you actually want, what you enjoy, who you are without trying to keep up with everyone else. And that's where real confidence starts. Not from always being surrounded by people, but from feeling okay in your own company. If your 20s feel lonely right now, it doesn't mean you're behind. It usually means you're between chapters. You're leaving what felt familiar, but you haven't fully arrived at what comes next yet. And that in-between space can feel uncomfortable, but it's also where growth quietly happens. You're not the only one figuring things out. Most people are just doing it silently. So be patient with yourself. You're not broken. You're becoming someone new. If this video helped you, feel free to like it and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And share this video with someone who might need to hear this right now.